Good morning and welcome to the last day of Veganuary. It's the 31st, momentous day here in the UK because of the B word. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I really don't. Yeah, I'm in two minds about it. I sincerely hope that the people who supposedly know about this stuff have got it right and that we're making the right decision. I really sincerely hope that. I am one of the world's eternal optimists, and I'm prepared to give people the benefit of the doubt. I just know a member of our family, is busily shutting factories down the UK by outsourcing their production to EU countries as we speak. Big sector he's working in will lead to millions, if not billions, of money being lost to the UK economy because we're not in the European Union anymore. And I've just got to hope that something will happen that will cause that gap to be filled in some other way. I'm just not entirely sure. Personally, I'm fairly buffeted against that because I work in an industry that is very seriously in demand. I'm likely to be never out of work, but that doesn't stop me caring desperately about the impact that the B word will have on lots of people in this country in not a good way, many of whom probably voted for the thing that's putting them out of work, and they may not find something to replace that work because people working in some industries find it very difficult to move out of those industries and do something else. So I do feel for them already, and it's not even happened, but I just got a feeling it will be happening, and I feel very, very sorry for them and ask myself, well, what is it we can do? Many years ago, there used to be a campaign called Buy British. Buy British. That's great. Problem is, we've just stopped manufacturing a load of stuff. Going on to what I was saying about the Chinese yesterday, we used to make LCD TVs in this country. I strongly suspect we don't do that anymore, along with a whole load of stuff. And that isn't to say we couldn't fire up production, but, trying to get people to buy British when faced with two products in the supermarket, one that's made in China, one that's made in Britain, and one that's made in Britain is more expensive because our labour costs are higher, etc., etc., etc. Sadly, people will probably, on the whole, buy the Chinese version, unless there is a massive campaign to get people to realise that, buying British helps the UK economy, etc., etc., etc. So, I'm not an economist. I'm sure people will go, oh, it's a load of rubbish, and it doesn't matter where the product comes from and all the rest of it. The world economy improves, and therefore the UK economy improves as a direct result like that. If you buy TV in China, it improves the lot of the middle classes, and they all want to buy Range Rovers and Jaguars and things like that, and Minis and other cars and products that are built in the UK. Yeah, I can absolutely get that. Anyway, going off tangent slightly. So, I've been thinking about rescue battery hens. So I think that's a really, really good idea. And who wouldn't? Let's face it, battery hens, they don't have a good time of it, do they really? If I had my way, we'd ban them. But I guess the eggs from battery hens are probably in a whole load of products. I bet if you go to the supermarket and buy a cake mix, it'll have eggs in from battery hens. I might be wrong, but I bet I'm not. And we just don't think about things like that. So yes, we might not go and buy battery hen eggs from the supermarket. Obviously, some people do. And I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment about there. They might have reasons to have to do that. And, you know, I'm not going to pass judgment. It's not for me to say whether they're right or wrong. If you're in a position to be able to make a choice about where your hen eggs come from, if you decide that you need hen eggs, then clearly, if you can, you should buy hen eggs that have come from better production systems, whether that's barn eggs, and then I think there's RSPCA approved in the UK, which have higher welfare standards than barn eggs, and then there's organic, which I'm assuming, I don't know my facts, but I'm assuming that they're high welfare standard again, and whether that's equivalent to actually having hens yourself and keeping them in your back garden, keeping them free from predators, with the ability to just wander around most of the day, exhibiting all their normal signs of behaviour with decent food source and all the usual things, you know, well taken care of, you know, red mite issues and stuff like that, all dealt with, then, you know, that's we've done that and had a really, really good time. So I was thinking about eggs, really. So clearly it's not appropriate to have eggs from hens that have been bred for egg production. And there are chickens that are bred for meat production, there are chickens that are bred for egg production. Two different manufacturing systems. What words do I have to use? Manufacturing. It's live animals, but hey. Production systems. And but if you rescued some battery hen eggs or any hens and you're keeping them at home, that's got to be a good thing. You're giving them an opportunity to see out their days. It'll never make up for the whatever it is that they've had to go through, especially battery hens. But that's absolutely great that you're doing something. So if you're a vegan and you're doing it because of the animal welfare side primarily, then would it still be right to have the eggs that you get from your battery hens? So I was having to think about this and I've been chatting about it with my wife. And personally, I don't think on the animal welfare score that that's inappropriate. You've rescued those hens, and, you know, all being well, if they're still mature enough or of an age to produce eggs, then you're going to get an egg, maybe one a day or a few a week or whatever, depending on the condition of the chicken. So if that's a good food source, then, you know, is it wrong to let that go to waste, or do you do something else with it, you know, feed it to other animals or whatever? So on the animal welfare front, I don't think it's a bad thing. Obviously, the food source thing is entirely up to individuals. I think eggs are a good food source. I'm going to do some more investigation, particularly in February, about what the downsides of eating eggs actually is for humans. My wife said you have to remember that eggs are the menstruation of a chicken, which when you put it like that doesn't sound particularly appealing, but that's just a yuck thing, that's the yuck factor. But, you know, once you put that to one side, then you have to think, well, is that, you know, is there anything wrong with eating hens, eggs from well cared for rescue hens, especially if they come from something like battery or whatever? So that's the topic I need to have a think about, really. I'm not rushing out and going to get some rescue hens, but I do know people who've got rescue hens who have eggs and they can't eat them all. And should I potentially look to buy my eggs from there, or should we get some rescue chickens again? We have in the past. We're trying to wind down a little bit on the old animals on the small holding here, but possibly need to have a think about that. Could be tempted to do that if I thought that I could use the eggs, because I have to say I do enjoy hen's eggs in a variety of ways and in a variety of foods. So that's where I'm going to end my Veganuary experience for 2020. As I've said previously, I think I've found it relatively easy because of the fact that we're already a vegan family and I was already eating a significant amount of plant-based food in my diet. We're already geared up for the supplements, etc., etc. So I think on the whole, I found it very easy. Culturally, I live in a family where veganism is encouraged and accepted, and with friends of the same mindset. I guess it would be a very different experience if you were living in a family environment where you were the only one that was vegan, and particularly if you were in your teens or something like that, and perhaps in a family that thinks that you're just doing this because it's a fad and you've been conned by the vegan pro media or something like that, then yes, I can imagine that might not have been that easy for you. So you do have my sympathies. It could be that actually you're the one leading the way and that now other members of your family are starting to look serious at plant-based diet, may have tried some dishes, maybe have tried going out without meat for a few days or a week or something like that. So if you've been a catalyst for change in your family, in your friendship group, I'd be really interested to hear from folks. I'm going to keep up daily videos, all being well, throughout February as I try the planet diet, and I'm going to try and do a little bit more research on this because I do tend to just turn the camera on and talk. Each morning, I haven't really thought very much in depth about what I'm going to do. I have done a bit of research about veganism, but not that much. So I'm going to have a look at the planet-based diet and do some research into that, and hopefully make these videos a little bit more informed. But I hope you like them. I hope you like the delivery style. I hope you like what I have to say. I hope you find it interesting and entertaining, and I hope that watching these videos have at least made you think and made you go away and do some research. And if that's all you do and you still decide to stick with whatever dietary system you're on, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here to pass judgment, but at least you've gone away and you've looked at it and you've made an informed decision, albeit to just go for the status quo. That's absolutely fine. So good luck with February, whatever you end up doing, and I hope to see you then. Take care, bye.